Hey everybody, Happy New Year! This is the first Monday Night Play-Along Jam of 2026, and we're doing a whole bunch of new songs and new tunes. Stuff that I have not done on the Play-Along Jams or haven't done in a long time. And we had a lot of requests that I did my best to field. If I didn't get your song in there this time, I will try to get it in on subsequent sessions. So thank you for sending the request. Thank you for showing me a bunch of songs that I wasn't that familiar with and suggesting a few of my favorites. So I'm going to double check the live streams and we'll get started. I will make a note already. So most of these I haven't played yet. I made a playlist. I listened to them a lot. I had a real busy weekend with a big gig on Saturday night and wrapping up a visit with my girlfriend who was visiting from Toronto for Christmas and New Year's. And then yesterday was a big travel day, getting out of the house and getting back here to Southern California, where I am for a little while. Heading to Baja in a couple days for Picking on the Dead down at Baja Joe's, 2 nights at Baja Joe's. Travel day. Okay, cool. We're live on YouTube. And then there's the Bakersfield Great 48 the following weekend, which I'm excited about. And then I'll have, in between, I'll have some family time and time home here before I head back to Colorado at the end of the month. So in summary, you saw me post these sets yesterday morning, and I kind of figured out, okay, what's a key that I could sing this in? Let me get the lyrics all kind of figured out and on a document so I could read along for the songs that I didn't know all the words to, which is most of them. Okay, there we go. We're live on Facebook. So I'll ask you all for a little bit of grace here because I just tried to sing Tree Canoe in G and I can't do it. I don't have a low G in my voice. So we're moving the first song up a whole step to the key of A, okay? So that's where we're going to begin with this good old John Hartford song. And as we go, we'll be kind of helping each other maybe discover some things about this music because a lot of these songs, like I said, I just kind of listened on the airplane last night, got them in my head, had a hike today and had them back in my headphones again to practice, and just picked up the guitar and started warming up. So here we are. And we're going to get started on Tree Canoe by John Hartford. Always a favorite. So if you're a first timer, this is how it works. You're playing along with me, and it's as if you came over to my house for a jam, and you might not know all the songs, but I'm going to kind of coach you through them, real quick. Hey, here's how this goes. This is not meant to be a music lesson. This is not meant to be a guitar lesson or a lesson on your instrument. This is meant to be all instruments, whatever you're playing, you've got solid rhythm and somebody leading you through a jam and give you an opportunity to play along. Work on your breaks, work on your rhythm, work on your singing, and maybe pick up a few little, teachable tidbits along the way. And, increase your repertoire, build on your repertoire that you already have, expand on it, and hear what a professional bluegrass musician might do over these songs. You know, whether he's used to performing them or not. This is just the way it works at any kind of jam session. And this is a way for you to get yourself primed for being out among, you know, real jam sessions. Okay. So we're going to get started on Tree Canoe. I've got a click track going. This is a nice, just 1/4. Okay, there's 2 different sections, a verse and a chorus. And it's a waltz, it's in 3/4. So the verse, 1 and a 1 and a 4 and 1, 1 and 1 and 5 and 5, 1 and a 1 and a 4 and 1 and a 1 and 1 and a 5 and a 1. Chorus, singing roll away, roll to the 4, straight to 5, 5, 5 and 1, 1 and 1 and 4, 4, 5 and 5, 5 back to 1. Cool. So Hartford, who kind of like sometimes would make fun of his voice, like he couldn't sing tenor, like the tenorless waltz, you know, where he's kind of faking this funny little voice of his. When you try to sing some of these songs, I'm like, oh wow, like what an incredible range. So I had to key this up from E. The original, he's singing oh, da 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 da, oh, low E, which I cannot touch. And so I've keyed it up a 4th to the key of A, and it's still, and that's about my lowest note is an A. I have to be very relaxed. Singing row. I'm not a low voiced guy. And it gets all the way up, you know, an octave plus a 5th. So wide range of vocal in this song, which is sneaky. You don't realize that till you try to sing it. So that's what I went through. But anyway, we're going to give it a go. I'm going to put on a click track and I'll demonstrate what I would do to kick this off. I would just play a version of the melody. A 1, 2, 3, 4. That's very basic, and that's fine. Hartford does the banjo break on every one on the recording of this on the album. But anyway, we're going to pass it around, and you're going to kick it off, and then I'll take the first break as usual, and let's do Tree Canoe in the key of A. That's right, I changed the key. If you missed that part, we've keyed this one up just so I could have a chance of singing it. All right, kick us off in the key of A on Tree Canoe. A 1, 2, 3, 4. River so bright I was born in a hut made of husks of the tall yellow corn. It was there I first spied my Julia so true, and I rode her about in my gum-tree canoe, singing roll away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our gum tree canoe. Here I go. All day in fields of swells. So here's that verse again. All day. Let me try that again. Slow. Here we go. Second verse. All day in fields of soft cotton I'd hoe and think of my Julia and sing as I go. And I'd catch her a bird with a wing of true blue, and at night sail around in our gum tree canoe, singing, row away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our gum tree canoe, singing, row away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our gum tree canoe. Play. With my hands on the banjo and a toe on the oar, I'd sing to the sound of the river's soft roar, while the stars that look down on my Julia so true, and danced in her eyes in our gum tree canoe, singing, row away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our gum tree canoe, singing, row away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our gum tree canoe. I'll take it. Take it. One day the stream bore us so far away that we couldn't get back, so we thought we'd just stay. We spied a tall ship with a flag of true blue, and it took us in tow in our gum tree canoe, singing, row away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our gum tree canoe, singing, row away, roar the water so blue, like a feather will float in our gum tree canoe. Okay, just the sweetest song of all time. Tricky one to sing. I want to keep working on that. You know, that's exploring the low notes and the high notes, just like Gone, Gone, Gone. Similar range. She's Gone, Gone, Gone. And, you know, like, you are a different singer. You might have this in a different key. I might end up keying it up to B flat ultimately and just like go for the higher range, which I know I have, and like settle in between on the lower range where I'm not quite, not quite all there. And a little note about this. I mean, like, okay, I've been in a canoe. Who's been in a canoe? Like, who's ever rowed a canoe? I mean, you paddle a canoe. So Hartford was a river guy. So I trust that I don't know, maybe he had an oar rig on his canoe. But I have been in a raft with my foot on the oar. That's a fun little thing to do sometimes. Anyway, just a sweet little fantasy of a song, I think. Okay, moving on. We got, these were all requests. And this song I had never heard before in my life, but I really, really like it. Don't Step Over an Old Love. So let's try this in the key of D. And this is an old Stanley Brothers song. I actually need... This is so fresh to me, I need just a quick little reminder. Yep.
All the things that we have done together. All the joy.
Okay. Similar to I'll Just Pretend. Okay, so we'll be in the key of D here. Find a good tempo there. Okay, so this goes key of D. So since I was already capo 2, I'm going to stay capo 2 and do this in C position. So this is the reason I use the number system when I am describing the chord changes, because some of us might be in different capo positions, some of us might be in different tunings. And old Bill, I just got Bill back from the luthier, where he received a new bridge. And he is getting used to this moisture down here in Southern California. It's been raining. So coming in from dry Colorado straight to this, Bill is adjusting. So here's the verse. A 1 and 1 and a 5. 5 and 5 and a 1. 1 and 1 and sorry. All right, we're getting there, folks. Like I told you, this is a bit of an exploratory. Back to 1. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, one more time. The verse is 1 and 1 and a 5. 5 and 5 and a 1. 1 and 1 and a 5. 5 and 5, back to 1. 4 and 4 and a 1. 1 and 1 and a 5. 4 and 4 and a 1. 2 and 5 and a 1. Okay, that's how that goes. Okay, fun. So they do just a little turnaround kickoff on the Stanley Brothers album, but we're going to use the verse as our kickoff and as our breaks. So here's how the verse will go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here you go. Kick us off on Don't Step Over an Old Love in the key of D. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When my back was turned, he caught your fancy, and he turned an innocent affair into something more than just friendship, while my dreams all crumbled in despair. Don't step over an old love to get to somebody new. Don't step over an old love who always has been true to you. I got it. Now you think you're happy with your new love. You don't know he's been untrue to you. Wait until you hear the whole town talking. Then you'll feel these heartaches like I do. Don't step over an old love to get to somebody new. Don't step over an old love who has always been true to you. Play. Chorus. Don't step over an old love to get to somebody new. Don't step over an old love who has always been true to you. Cool. Good song, good request. That one I'm definitely gonna get into my repertoire. Very cool song. All the bluegrass artists of the past have extensive repertoire. I mean, most of them, I should say. The main ones, Stanley Brothers, Monroe, Flatt and Scruggs, Reno and Smiley, Jim and Jesse. I don't know, the Stanley Brothers, you can dive and never get to the bottom, it seems like. I mean, obviously, their work was finite, but I'm always hearing new songs that I haven't heard before. Okay, Arkansas Traveler. This is a familiar tune, our first instrumental of the set. And I included it because it was requested. And I thought, okay, we haven't done this for a while on the jam. Let's do a little slow tempo Arkansas Traveler. And this is a tune that's in my Artist Works curriculum. So those of you who are participating on the Artist Works, there's a chance to practice this. So key of D here. I'm going to remain capo 2, C position. 1 and a 1, 1, 1, 5, 5, 5 and a 5 and 1 and a 1, 1 and 1, 1, 1, 5 and a 1. That's the beat. That's the A part. Double check something, because again, when you teach songs and then you perform songs, you kind of wonder which version that you are leaning on. So I'm going to make sure, forgive the slight delay here, I'm going to make sure that okay. So here's the thing. There's different versions of Arkansas Traveler, different versions of, I should say, different ways of accompanying it, different chords that people might choose. So let me start over, and I'll show you how I taught this on Academy, so we're consistent. 1 and a 4, 5 and 1, 5 and 5, 5 and a 5, 1 and a 4, 5 and 1, 1 and a 1 and a 5 and 1, 1 and a 4 and a 5 and a 1, 5 and 5, 5 and a 5, 1 and a 4, 5 and 1, 1 and a 1 and a 5 and a 1, 1, 4, 1 and a 5, 1, 5, 1 and 5, 1, 4, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 1 and a 5 and a 1, 1, 4, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5 and a 1 and a 5, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1 and a 1 and a 5 and a 1. Okay, so we'll go twice through each, and then you'll go ahead and tag it at the end, okay? And here we go. Key of D, you're going to kick us off on, I'm sorry, I'm going to kick it off. I'm distracted by too many things happening at once here. Okay, I'm going to kick us off on Arkansas Traveler. Me, you, and then you tag it. Here we go. Key of D. That's one of those tunes that is really hard for me to play at that tempo. It's like, if you're like in a beginner kind of place and that's sort of mystifying to you, like think of it this way. It's like once you learn to ride a bike without training wheels, you have to go or you'll fall over. So sometimes at slow tempos, that's what happens to me on these. So it's good practice. It's good to be in that beginner mindset for those of us who have been here for a long time. Okay, the L and N don't stop here anymore. Now, this was one requested by Woody Woodcock. Thank you, Woody. And there are so many different versions that are so different from each other. So I asked him which one to check out. He said the Gene Ritchie version. So I checked out the Gene Ritchie version. And let's see. I listed the key of C on here, but the Gene Ritchie version is in a minor key. Okay, so let me pull up the lyric and then let's see where actually this is going to go. So if I was in C, let's say I was in C minor. I was born and raised in the mouth of Hazard Hollow. Cold cars rolling, rumbling past my door. All empty. L and N don't stop here anymore. So C minor would be a good key for me to sing this in. So I'm going to capo 3. Those of you who are playing guitars or capoed instruments, this would probably be the best way to do it. Capo 3 and play A minor position. Now, if this is sort of outside of your comfort zone, that's okay. You know, you have to be able to get to this kind of place, and I'm showing you what to do here. If you're in a concert key on an instrument like a mandolin or a violin, you're just gonna have to know, you know, where C minor is, and that's not my job to teach you that. Guitar players, I can help you with all this stuff if you study with me as an actual instructor on Artist Works. That's my online flat picking academy. But anyway, for now, all I can say is, like, yeah, we're going to be in C minor. The chords here, it's a 1 minor, which is a C minor, or A minor if you're capoed like I am, and then a 5 minor. So that would be a G minor, concert key, or E minor capo. So 1 minor, 5 minor, 1 minor, 1 minor, 5 minor, and 1. 1 minor, 5 minor, 1. 5 minor, 5 minor, 1. So when we're picking it, we'll go straight. 5 minor, 5 minor, and 1. But when I'm singing it, I might hold some of those notes, so you're just gonna have to follow me. And the chorus goes to the flatted 7. So that would be a G if you're capoed like me. It would be a B flat if you're not. Flat 7, minor 1. 7, 7, and a 1. 7, 7, and a 1. And a 5 minor, 5 minor, and 1. Okay? So the A part is just the 1 minor, 5 minor. I feel like I'm in a reggae band again. General penitentiary. It's like 1 minor, 5 minor is one of the most common, you know, reggae skank chord progressions. Anyway, here we go. Let's give this a try. And I'll demonstrate how I would kick this off. I might go 1, 2, 3. This is great. I've never tried this song before, and it's a very cool, sad, historic number about sort of the fall of a lot of these neighborhoods, towns, company towns, coal mining towns, and this is like a coal town that failed, or the mine closed down, and the train doesn't come by anymore, so everyone's out of work. All right, here we go. Key of C minor. The L and N don't stop here anymore. Kick it off. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Here's the first verse. Oh, when I was a curly-headed baby, my daddy sat me down upon his knee. Said, son, go to school and learn your letters. Don't be no dusty miner like me. I was born and raised the mouth of Hazard Hollow. Coal cars roaring and rumbling past my door. Now they're standing rusty, rolling empty, and the L&N don't stop here anymore. I got it now. I used to think my daddy was a black man, prescript enough to buy the company store. But now he goes downtown with empty pockets, and his face is white as February snow. I was born and raised in the mouth of Hazard Hollow. Coal cars roaring and rumbling past my door. Now they're standing rusty, rolling empty, and the L&N don't stop here anymore. Play. Last night I dreamt I went down to the office to get my payday like I've done before. Them old kudzu vines had covered up the doorway, and there were trees and grass growing right down through the floor. I was born and raised in the mouth of Hazard Hollow. Coal cars roaring and rumbling past my door. Now they're standing rusty, rolling empty, and the L&N don't stop here anymore. Me than you. money and the greenbacks filled my pockets once more. I was born and raised at the mouth of Hazard Hollow. Coal cars roaring, rumbling past my door. Now they're standing rusty, rolling empty, and yelling at, don't stop here anymore. No, the yelling at, don't stop here anymore. Cool. Vibey, cool song. Now, among some of the other versions I checked out was a Johnny Cash version, which was like downright silly with brass and all this stuff going on. And then other versions with totally different like major keys. Some of them are major keys. This one's a minor key. Same lyric though. So a song that's kind of been treated in lots of different ways. And Woody, I know that you do this with a 1, 7, and a 1. I just, you wanted me to check out that version. That they play the minor 5. Now the 1 and the 7 are very similar to the 1 and the minor 5. You could do one or the other, and it almost sounds the same. But that bass note will reveal if that's the bass note. That's the bass note I was hearing on that recording. So anyway, if you got your own version of that, that's totally cool. Okay, I'm going to check in with everybody here real quick. How is everything going out there? Here we are on Facebook. David Holtkamp. Hello, David. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. And I think you might have requested that one, eh? And Nina. Hello, Nina in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Nina Dropcho. And hello, Terry Weller Godwin. Very cool. Thanks for being here. And Nina, yeah, it's a metaphor. I don't know. I mean, a gum tree canoe is a traditional style of canoe, but I get it. Yeah, certainly, certainly a metaphor. But I'm a little bit of a stickler for details. So, hello, Bill Farmer. Thanks for being here in the Great Lakes, Snow Country, playing the guitar. Terry, yep, I'm at my mom's down in Southern California. Colin Burns, picking along in snowy Yorkshire. Yorkshire or Yorkshire? Yorkshire, I think. Anyway, thank you, Colin, traveling so far from the UK, as usual, staying up late with us. Handy Randy, so many versions of this song, that's right. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, David Vincent, for being here, joining on the mandolin in Red Wing, Montana? Red Wing, Montana? Hello, Rixie Melton. And hello, Kathy Patterson. Jams the LNN, great tune, very cool. Okay, over here on YouTube land, how we doing? We got lots of folks in here. Hello, Sandy, up in Bakersfield. And you are with us tonight on Monday before your classes get back in session. Very cool. And I will see you at the Great 48 in Bakersfield. And let's see, a week from this Thursday, it all begins. So I'll be up there doing some workshops. I still don't know my schedule, so I'm gonna follow up with Russ on that. But I know I'm doing some workshopping and some performing and potentially some jam leading and then just hanging out and jamming up there at the Marriott in Bakersfield for the CBA, California Bluegrass Association, Great 48. That is January 15 through 18. Okay. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Woody Woodcock. Picking on your Yamaha in Elkins, West Virginia. That song was for you, the L&N. Bluegrass Bob, Happy New Year. Picking on your Eastman in Northern Virginia. Hello, Dickie, and your Neckville banjo. And hello, Harold Hale. Thank you for jamming along and learning. Irish Steve and Chesterfield, Missouri. Picking a 1980 Alvarez. Very cool. Voraciousness. Yeah, don't stand up with the canoe. I learned that lesson once a long time ago. Time to be canoe and Tyler too, right? Shady Mandolin 5. That's Matt in Virginia picking the mandolin. Hello, Matt. Carl Malley in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Hello, Carl. Bruce Edgerly picking a 1920 Gibson A4 mandolin. Cool. In Carbondale, Colorado. Well, I mean, if you wanna work for the company, you got to go through the company. So I have no say in that. So call the office, talk to them if you want to get hired on and safety kayak with us. Bengt up in Sweden. Hello, Bengt. Picking on your new Yamaha FG9M. Cool. Is that a mandolin or a guitar? Bengt is an excellent guitar player who plays and performs in his home country of Sweden. And let's see. Happy New Year, says S. Scott in Flagler Beach. BC, Canada here. Mocha Joe picking the fiddle. Jesse, can we do a place maybe sometime? Yeah, I will tell you this, Jesse, as I tell everybody every week. If you want a request, email it to me or send it in a private message on one of my socials, because this is live and I don't go back and look at these. Cool. Let's see. Where are we? Wes in Monterey is picking a guitar. Joe Crow 1453. I'm helping you a ton. Right on, Joe. And Richard Wally. Hello, Richard. Happy New Year. Yep, you got the Arkansas Traveler request in there. Hello, Lisa Copeland. The Michelle Schacht version of L&N. Cool. I'll check that out. Lisa, I'll see you in Julian at the Julian Family Fiddle Camp in May. And let's see. I gotta move through here because we got a limited time. Do the Freak is Luke in Los Angeles picking a Martin guitar. Chris in San Francisco picking a Martin guitar. And Rachel in San Diego, in damp San Diego. It sure is damp. It's good. Carl Malley, Michelle Mabel. Hello, my dear. Listening from cold, snowy Ontario, where she arrived safe at 3 a.m. from Denver. And I arrived down here in Hummel, California a little bit earlier, but we were going different ways to different time zones. We were in the same time zone for a while. Wasn't that nice? Okay, John Keegan is in Mainville, Ohio, Pickety Bob Thompson Dreadnought. And Goatman Girl, Bentucky and Stacy say hi from Louisville, Kentucky, or Louisville, Colorado. One or the other. Daniel picking along in Lodi. And you are there by your own free will, I'm assuming. Okay, this is really fun, y'all. Thank you for being here. We've got... I won't be here next week because I'm going to be in Baja doing this weekend with Picking on the Dead. So I really wanted to get this. This was a lot for me to squeeze in. It was like, I barely even got the set list done yesterday, and now I'm like barely hanging on these songs because I didn't really have time to do them, to learn them very well, aside from just in my head. So, but I really wanted to get this with you because I know I'm not going to be here next Monday, and the Monday after that, I'm not really sure. After Great 48, last year I went up to Death Valley with my mom for a day or two. So we might do that, but I will let you know by the end of next week. I'm always going to post these on the Friday and let you know if I'm doing it that following Monday or not. But definitely not next Monday, okay? And all kinds of things going on. Julian Family Fiddle Camp in May. This Great 48 in Bakersfield the weekend after this coming weekend, 15th through 18th. Artist Works still has a 50% off sale. There's some promo code you can find on the website if you want to sign up for Flat Picking Academy. I do, as always, appreciate your contributions. So not to be overly solicitous, but I will just put these links into the comments in case you can't see them on the description. Okay. And that helps me maintain my house payment and helps me to keep doing this for you on Mondays. But I'm here for you, as a volunteer, but I appreciate a little bit of buy me lunch or something. Okay, moving on. Could You Love Me One More Time? This was my request. I just love this song, and I hadn't done it before. So here we go, key of C, Stanley Brothers, and it's a waltz. So I'm going to go to standard C position here. We got 4 songs to get through here in the next 22 minutes. So we'll see how we do before getting on to the mid-tempo. Many of us are shaking off the rust of the holidays, and that's a good thing. I hope many of you got a little bit of rest. I got a little bit of rest, and that was very nice. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the lyric here. Okay. 1 and 1 and 4, and a 1 and 1 and a 5, 1 and a 1 and a 4 and a 4 and a 5 and 5 and a 1. So then the chorus or the bridge. So there's not really a verse in the chorus. They don't repeat anything. So that's the A part, which you could call it the chorus, I guess. But anyway, that's the A part. One more time. 1 and a 1 and a 4, and a 1 and 1 and 5, and a 1 and 1, 4 and a 4, and a 5 and 5 and a 1. Then the next part, the B part, goes to the 5, 5 and 1, 5 and a 5 and a 1, and a 1 and a 1 and a 4 and a 4 and a 5 and 5 and a 1. Okay, so my kickoff would be on the A part. That's what we're going to jam on. And it might go something like... And again, I'll remind you of the caveat, which I mention often on these little play-along sessions, that I'm not teaching you an arrangement. You know, if you say, oh, they kick it off on, on a turnaround. Cool, that's how they did it. This one, I'm just letting you kick it off over the A part, the complete A part, because we're here to just learn how the songs go and jam on them. In your band, you can arrange this however you want. Okay, here you go. Kick us off on the A part here. Could you love me one more time? Here it goes. Key of C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could you love me one more time with a love that really is mine? We've waited so long, they say you've gone wrong. Have I lost you forever this time? We'll go down by I'll ask you one last time. As the night breezes blow, I'll whisper going around. I've heard lots of things that somehow seem strange, but darling, I couldn't throw you down. I know that you're my weakness. I know you'll be my downfall. I'm not sorry we met, and I'll never forget, though I gave you my heart, soul, and all. Play. Could you love me one more time, with a love that really is mine? We've waited so long, they say you've gone wrong. Have I lost you forever this time? Cool. So on the actual album, they do a slowdown on the "Though I Gave You My Heart, Soul, and All," a little retard ending, but I couldn't reach the stop button there, so I just did the first verse again. Beautiful song, great duet harmonies with Carter and Ralph, and there's an excellent Ricky Skaggs and Emmylou Harris version out there too, from Skaggs' one of his early albums, Sweet Temptation. Okay. Kentucky Waltz was a request. We're definitely going to be going over time a little bit, but that's okay. Kentucky, beneath the beautiful. I'm going to slow this down just a skosh. Kentucky Waltz by Bill Monroe. This was the original state waltz. This came before Tennessee Waltz, before Alabama Waltz. This was the original one. Bill Monroe inspired all those other state waltzes. And it goes. Key of G. Throw in a quick E minor, 4, 6, 2 minor, E minor, 4, 4 minor, that's a G minor, 1 and 6, that's a B7, 2 is an E7, 5 is an A7. Okay, so sorry I don't have time to run you through that again. Just mark this time in the video and come back if you need to review it. And here we go, Kentucky Waltz in the key of D. I'm going to kick it off. Actually, tell you what, let's do this. I'm going to sing it once through, and that will help us all kind of remember how the changes and how the melody goes. So I'll sing it, then I'll play it. Tell you what, I'll sing it, you play it, then I'll play it, then you play it. Okay, so I'm going to start by singing it, and then you'll get 2 full rounds. And let's give it a go. Kentucky Waltz. A 1, 2, 3. We were waltzing that night in Kentucky, beneath the beautiful harvest moon, and I was the boy that was lucky, but it all Play it again. I know I rearranged that. As soon as I was done singing, I got so excited I started picking it. So I ended up taking 2 and you ended up taking 2. But hey, when that happens, when the jam leader changes the plan, you just got to follow. You can roll your eyes a little bit, but you just got to follow. So sorry about the miscommunication there. That was fun. Okay, Poison Love. Now this is one I've done a handful of times, but it's not a common song, and it might be a new one for many of you. Very cool song. We're going to do this one and the last song of the set, I believe both in... Oh, no, Rank Stranger is going to be in F. So this one's the only one in B. And here we go. Let's find a tempo. We're going to be getting ourselves a little closer to the mid-tempo range here. All right, so I'm going to capo 4 and play G position, which is something I would recommend you guitar players do. I like to play out of A position too. That would be capo 2, but this is the most standard kind of place that you go for the key of B. And this song's all just 1 and 5. Poison love and stain the lifeblood in my heart and soul, dear. And I know my life will never be the same. For my pleadings have all been in vain for you and you alone, dear. And you know that you are guilty of the shame. You know that you're guilty of the shame. One of those songs of attachment and accusation, right? Just these people need counseling, you know. They didn't have counselors, they didn't have therapists, they didn't understand, you know, me statements versus you statements. They didn't understand, you know, how you could fall into the role of the victim, right? Or maybe they did and they just knew that wouldn't be a very good song. All right. Poison Love, here we go. Now my kickoff would be 1, 2, 3. Playing the melody, basically. Okay, kick us off on Poison Love, key of B. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. For your poison love has stained the lifeblood in my heart and soul, dear. And I know my life will never be the same. For my pleadings have all been in vain for you and you alone, dear. And you know that you are guilty of the shame. Into each life a love is born for one and one alone, dear. The love I chose was surely not for me. For your poison love has stained the lifeblood in my heart and soul, dear. And I know our love was never meant to be. For your poison love has stained the lifeblood in my heart and soul, dear. And I know my life will never be the same. For my pleadings have all been in vain for you and you alone, dear. hope you were singing tenor on that. That's a powerful duet. And a fun song to kind of just belt out that tenor part. Okay, Rank Stranger. This was a strong request from a couple of you, so let's do it. Now, this is not a jam song by any stretch of the imagination. This is a song that you sing, that you perform, that you play, you enjoy. So we're gonna do this straight, and if you're here for the mid-tempo jam, you've noted that we're kind of running a few minutes over here on the slow tempo jam, navigating a bunch of new songs and tunes, of course. So I tell you what, why don't we can jam on this just using my point about like arrangements, and on the recording, this is such an iconic recording that most people play it sort of the way the Stanley Brothers did. And then it's got those George Shuffler little guitar bits. But why don't we do why don't we actually play the verse, okay? I'd encourage you to actually learn learn how to do that the way they do on the original. But let's actually play over the verse. So it goes do 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 1 and a 5 and a 1. 1 and 1 and a 1 and a 5. Da, 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 1 and a 5 and a 1. Da, 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 1 and a 5 and 1. 4 and 1. The chorus, you're just gonna have to follow. The chorus is the same, it's just stretched out a little bit, and there's vocal things happening. So you're gonna have to be I'm the lead singer, so you're gonna have to be the tenor. Everybody I met, and I'll come in with the lead part. Okay? That's how we're gonna have to do this, all right? So kick us off through an entire verse of, I gotta find a waltz tempo. Kick us off on the entire verse of Rank Stranger, and then we'll sing it. Okay, here we go. 1, in the key of F, by the way. 1, 2, 3, go. My home in the mountains, where in youth early dawn I was happy and free. I looked for my friends, but I never could find them. I found they were all Okay. I hope that was fun for you. I hope it was helpful. Again, if we're going to play Rank Stranger, we kind of got to sit down and kind of plan it. But there we go. All right, I need to shut this down. We're a little over time, obviously. But come right back for the mid-tempo. I'm going to get it rolling as soon as I can here in the next few minutes. It'll be up on a new video. So refresh either the YouTube channel, my YouTube, or go back to my Facebook page. And you'll see that mid-tempo set pop up soon. Thank you all. Appreciate the donations. Appreciate you being here. Okay. Very cool. See you in a few minutes.